What are you doing texting me about Taylor Lewan and Harold Landry? Should I just do all of your NFL Network reporting for you? What do you want?
That is so false. I mean, I was texting you, and I do enjoy it. Sometimes I forget that you're actually, quote unquote, working. So I like to text you and try to distract you while you're doing these things.
Buddy, it's impossible. Have you heard the kind of phone calls that I get? There is nothing that can derail me from doing this radio show that is allegedly work.
What's the big take happening right now? What are the fans? What do they want? What's happening?
Oh, well, yesterday, Lucas, do we have Charlie's call? Can we play that for Giardi? I don't know if we, Charlie and Franklin, I'm going to send Lucas, he hates when I do this, I'm going to send him scrambling for some audio.
Nice job.
That it's impossible for him to find. Of course, he's sitting there shaking.
This is why Lucas hates you.
It's
one of many reasons why Lucas hates you.
It's among many. Can you imagine having to work with me for 4 hours at least a day?
It's why I keep him off balance, Mike. Find the perfect moment to strike.
There you go.
But yeah,
Lucas is out thinking you right there.
They're pissed at me because or at least some contingent of them are pissed at me because they say I'm talking too much about the NFL when there's no football, and I'm looking around at baseball locked out for 82 days and the NBA All-Star break, and what am I supposed to do, Mike? What am I supposed to do? I don't know what they want me to talk about.
Talk about your NBA? Oh, right.
Yeah.
No, Memphis, I guess.
Yeah. I guess there's always hockey, but I don't know. We'll see how desperate I get. You're doing a lot of talking about the Titans on television. Why?
Because they're in a position where obviously they were the number one seed and it did not go the way they had hoped in the postseason. And I think there's a lot of eyes on them. Are they going to be able to take that next step, or are they about to fall back? I think that there's some questions about, a bunch of different things from a contractual standpoint with some of the players that you mentioned earlier, and obviously with the quarterback who, came up small in a big playoff game.
I mean, it is a pretty interesting situation that they find themselves in because, of course, as the audience knows and as you know, the window for franchise tagging players comes open today, Harold Landry being chief among them. Their biggest advantage right now, Mike, is that pass rush. And they, as every team who has success and every unit that has success, they're going to be standout players who are in contract years. And Harold has the potential to come back. They can afford to pay him, if nobody else, if they pay him, and keep this thing together, which honestly I think is their best shot at a legitimate Super Bowl.
I do too, and I hate the idea. You kind of waited for Harold's had moments, obviously, in the previous few seasons, but it all comes together for him this past year. He's one of your own. You draft, developed. Like, that's a good message to send to the rest of the guys in the organization. Hey, if you play to the level that we expect you, that at the end of your contract, we're going to be willing to go the extra mile for you. And I think he's an important guy. I mean, look, their defensive line was awesome last year. After how many years did we talk about the lack of pass rush? And then there were times where they just dominated football games, including, quite frankly, they dominated a playoff game, and their offense only managed 16 points. So.
Yeah, I was there for that. It was a tough scene.
That was not great. Great.
It was a roller coaster ride the Monday after, but since then it's just been kind of a boiling rage. I don't know what stage of grieving Titans fans are currently still in, but when last I checked in, it was just outright anger. Mike Giardi of the NFL Network here with us on 104.5 The Zone. So what do you think makes the most sense for them, Mike, when you look at the situation? I know you were analyzing cap casualty potentials for NFL Network. I know that there were a couple of names that came up. What do you think makes the most sense with some of these premier players that they have to make difficult decisions on?
Well, I prefaced the first one, Roger Saffold, by saying I think he's still a really good player, but at 33, with the kind of money you're going to be paying him. And, he dealt with some physical issues last year. And, look, he played 15 of the 17 regular season games. So it wasn't like it kept him out of too much football. But, you have to start to wonder, is this the beginning of where physically he doesn't bounce back? And that'd be an area where, of course, you could save some money. You mentioned, I'm going to give you credit, I'm going to tip your hat. Jack Rabbit Jenkins is an interesting one because in Molden, in Fulton, and then in New Hope and Caleb Farley, you have young corners under team control. Do you want to pay, I think Jack Rabbit's 34, do you want to pay him $10 million next year? it doesn't seem like that's the best course of action for them. And that'll help, again, create some more money for you if you want to keep Landry and maybe a couple of your other guys. But it is going to be hard, I think, for them to really delve deep into free agency just based on some of the deals that they've already signed and obviously, once again, with eyes on Landry.
Well, that's lovely of you to give me credit for the Jackrabbit Jenkins thing. Lucas, do we have the audio of Giardi's Harold Landry report where he betrayed me since he's a traitor? Go ahead and play that, please.
Yeah, Omar, did he ever? 12 sacks, 22 pressures last year. Dude hasn't missed a start in the last 3 seasons and played through some stuff in the second half of the season and then was uber productive in the playoff game against the Bengals. Here's the deal, though. There's a report surrounding Landry that says he wants to be the highest paid guy in the Titans meeting room that he's in. Well, that means being higher paid than Bud Dupree. Dupree signed a 5-year, $82.5 million contract last offseason. So Landry's looking for about 17 per. Be really interesting to see if the Titans can go to that number or want to go to that number just based on some of their other needs. Certainly one to watch. And if Landry does hit the open market, there are going to be a lot of suitors lined up to pay him.
Yeah, no question about
it. That's from the NFL Network. Whose report, trader? No. Whose report?
In my defense, I couldn't remember who said it. I read a lot of stuff.
I don't normally get upset about that.
Too? I don't even know that you trumpeted it like that. That's one of those things where, knowing you would have retweeted it 57 times.
Well, you know that I'm just constantly trying to grab for more attention at any given point. And you're right. I try not to do that with reporting. And the only reason that I'm doing it now is because it's you and because I watched that and I'm like, I'm going to retweet him anyway, but I'm going to get him back for this. I don't know why but it didn't actually bother me, but it made me laugh out loud because I thought you did it on purpose.
I didn't. I wish I did now in retrospect. So I'm going to keep an eye on your feed and see if I can not credit you for something else.
I'll say, you put the show on notifications. I'll send you a tweet every time we get a crazy caller. What are you doing right now? Are you camped outside of Tom Brady's home trying to figure out if he's going to unretire or not? What's the network have you doing?
I mean, that was just, that whole thing is absurd. And now you have Aaron Rodgers. It's like they're trying to one-up each other. Like, who can say more vague things and hint at this, that, or the other thing, and then turn around and call the media stupid? It's just his whole retirement thing was butchered. And, now this information coming out about his distaste for Arians, it's something we talked about a little bit. It's real, and he didn't close the door. And now we got to deal with Rodgers, and he's a half an hour, 45 minutes away from making his radio appearance. And I can't wait to hear him insult all of us dummies while he says it has nothing to do with anything. I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do.
Meanwhile, Pat McAfee and his boys are just licking their chops because they saw that passive-aggressive Instagram post come out last night, and they knew they had the Aaron Rodgers exclusive today. That's actually going to be pretty interesting to see that play out. Why are they being like this, Mike? Like, why are these veteran quarterbacks, two of the greatest of all time, Rodgers and Brady, do they enjoy this, what they're doing on the internet? Because they have to get something out of the attention that they get from causing problems and creating this stir where they can just turn it back around on media, like you said, and call us all idiots and dummies.
Attention horse. Right? That's what it is. They love it. They love being in the spotlight. Like, I'm gonna be happy when I walk away and I don't have to deal with you guys anymore. No, you're not. You like this. You like all of it. You like all the attention. You love the social media posts. You love it all. The good, the bad, the ugly. You love it.
It's Mike Giardi of the NFL Network here with us. At Mike Giardi is where you can follow him. Gut feeling, and I would call your opinion an informed opinion if I wanted to give you actual credit, which I'm loath to do. Do you think that Tom Brady unretires?
I do.
You do?
I do.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I put it at like 55%.
Oh, no.
If he comes back. Hey, someone pointed out to me, like, if you look at the quote-unquote retirement post that he had, all that retirement post basically was a goodbye to Tampa.
Yeah, I know. I saw you getting outraged on behalf of Boston because he mentioned none of the people with the Patriots, none of the fans, none of the ownership, nobody. It was hilarious.
I mean, that was pretty low budget, and then the Brady Bobos come to his defense and say, like, oh, what did he say 2 years ago? okay, he didn't retire 2 years ago. If he truly was retiring and he decides to not thank Kraft, Belichick, all the people in the organization that helped him along the way, like, yeah, that's pretty low budget, pretty low budget.
Mike, do you understand the fact that you just said this in Nashville? My mentions are about to be peppered with Tom Brady to the Titans. Again,
that is a phenomenal side benefit to something. And once again, I wasn't thinking that far ahead. But good luck, buddy. Good luck.
Get the hell out of here. Are you on TV at all today?
I am all day today.
Okay.
All day tomorrow. Yeah.
NFL Network for all of his great work on the Titans and every other NFL team that he's covering right now. Giardi just can't, an attention whore unto himself. It's the offseason. Mike Giardi can't get off the camera. Thank you, buddy.
All right, see ya. Later.
Oh, God. He just said that as casually as anything. He thinks that Tom Brady's going to unretire. Can you imagine?
Yes, I very much can. It's not, this crazy foreign concept, right?
I don't want to do this again. Nobody gets to see them basically eulogized in real time at the height of your profession. Nobody gets that. Brady has that, even if he didn't get to retire the way he wants to retire, and maybe there's this bleeped up part of his brain that just says, no, I'm going to do it on my terms. Damn you, Adam Schefter and Jeff Darlington. You're not going to take this from me. This is my game, my sport, and you guys are going to play it my way, right? Just the same as when he's getting his ass kicked by the Saints and he's mother bleeping Sean Payton on the sidelines because he's kind of a brat when he doesn't get his way.
Can it not also be that he just can't stay away? I mean, it took him 3 days. 3 days after he officially announced his retirement to say, oh, well, never say never, right? I mean, for anybody else in that moment, you're saying, no, I'm retired. The statement was what the statement was. I am retired. I'm not coming back. But it took him less than a week to come out and say, you never say never.
It makes my head hurt to think about the idea that Tom Brady legitimately could unretire.
I at this point, I want him to. I want him to play until he's 50.
Well, yeah, because we're in the sports news business. We would people are pissed at us talking NFL now. It would entirely go out the window if Tom Brady unretired.
Even besides all of that, even before he announced his retirement, I wanted him to play until 50 just to kind of sit back and continue marveling at what he's doing. He should have been the MVP this year, right? I mean, there's a very strong case for that.
I mean, only because Rodgers missed a game because he wasn't vaccinated.
And his numbers were much better.
The numbers were great, but I think on face value, you would say that Aaron Rodgers played the position of quarterback at a higher level overall than Tom Brady did this year, even though Tom Brady's last touchdown pass is him just scorching Jalen Ramsey, one of the best corners in football, with just a beautiful rainbow bomb to Mike Evans in a playoff game. But here's my thing. I appreciated Brady leaving now because he's still the best. I don't want to see Tom Brady fall apart. I think it is such a rare thing. It's why I found the McVay, Aaron Donald, could they both leave the sport, take some time away, in the case of Donald, potentially retire from the NFL after the Super Bowl, because I'm fascinated by the idea that football and just professional athletes in general, coaches as well, especially now that we're paying $17 million a year for coaches as analysts on network television. Shout out Tony Romo for raising the bar for all of us. I think it's so interesting to consider that these guys would have outside interests other than the thing that is giving them the initial platform and then taking and doing more with it, right? John Madden is the original example of this, a coach leaving at the peak of his powers, going into broadcasting, making all the correct moves at the right time in his career. McVay was 4 years younger, won the Super Bowl, 4 years younger than Madden was when he left coaching, and McVay is not, it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. But with Brady, he left me wanting more of Tom Brady.
Right.
You
which
never
is
get
incredible. And 5 years ago, nobody would be saying that.
I thought he was washed a decade ago. He's had a whole nother Hall of Fame career since then. Since I thought he was dead.
That's why I want him to keep going. I don't want to see him fall apart either. But I want to know, can he do it at 45 and then at 46 and then at 47? Like, I want to find out, is there ever a stopping point with this guy? I want to know.
I can't go back through that experience.
NFC South fans don't want to know.
See, because it's
I wanna
already
know.
started. T-Bull22 on Twitter. So Brady and Vrabel back together?
Oh, Jesus. Okay, well, let's